Hi guys, quick announcement. So I've been thinking of how to give back to you guys for all the support last season, so I've decided to hold a subscriber giveaway. So I'll be giving away a Fantasy Football Hub Pro membership and also a Draft Hound Pro membership to 2 lucky subscribers. Now these last for the whole of the 23-24 season, and you'll be able to use them to beat your mini league rivals throughout the season. So as long as you are subscribed, you'll be entered into the draw, and I'll announce the winners on the Game Week 1 deadline stream, which will be coming really soon. So good luck for the draw, and let's get back to the video. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and today we're going to take a look at the world number 2's Game Week 1 draft. Now the world number 2 for last season was none other than FPL Azuri. He has his own Twitter page and also a YouTube channel as well, so do check him out. I reached out to him on Twitter and he very kindly sent over his draft for this video, so shout out to him and do check him out, do drop him some support as well. Right, so we'll go through his team and I'll comment a little bit about some of the players he's chosen and see if I can try to improve it a little bit using the Fantasy Football Hub My Team tool. This video is sponsored by Fantasy Football Hub, so we will check them out later on in the video, right? But for now, let's take a look at the players that he's gone for, as well as the kind of thinking behind these players. So on the left hand side of the screen, we see 98.5 team value. So basically there's a lot of money left in the bank, 1.5 in the bank, and I have stressed in a couple of videos this pre-season that leaving money in the bank is important so that you can adjust to the new information that we will get once the games start, right? Pre-season can only give us a little bit of insight as to what may happen when the season starts, but a lot of new information would come once the games start, and definitely having 1.5 million in the bank could help to do some upgrades here and there, where a 0.5 or a 1 million upgrade may not be sufficient as well. Alright, so I do like that he's left quite a bit of money in the bank, but I do feel like that may compromise a little bit into the players that he's gone for, so we'll take a look at them later. The formation he has chosen is kind of the template at this point in time, which is a 3-5-2 formation. So going into the players, let's take a look at the goalkeeper. It's Jordan Pickford at 4.5 million. Now, Jordan Pickford has kind of a split the FPL community a little bit. Some people are quite hot on Pickford, some think that he shouldn't be even considered as a 4.5 million pick. So my thoughts is that Jordan Pickford has the fixtures. I think Everton's fixtures are decent for the first 7 to 8 game weeks, and on top of that, they concede a lot of shots on target. So Jordan Pickford would be the one to pick up a lot of save points, similar to last season as well. And of course, picking up a lot of save points contributes to his bonus point score as well. So I do understand the Jordan Pickford pick, right? And there are a lot of 4.5 million options that we can choose to go for as well. There's Flecken, and I do think like there are other options we could go for at the premium bracket as well, like Onana at 5.0 or Aaron Ramsdale at 5.5 as well. So there's different ways we could go about this, but I do think like at this point in time, I don't mind the Jordan Pickford pick. Right, so let's take a look at the defense now. He's chosen Luke Shaw, Gabriel, and Estupiñán. Now, Luke Shaw 5.5 and Gabriel at 5, Estupiñán also at 5 million. So you'll notice as well that he hasn't really covered the premium bracket of defenders in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Maybe he has 1.5 million in the bank so that he can upgrade any of these 5 million defenders into a Trippier, who is 6.5 million, right? So I do feel like Estupiñán to Trippier for him could be a decent move come game week 4, game week 5, once Newcastle's fixtures start to pick up and Brighton's one starts to taper down. So I do think like that could be the thinking behind it, but obviously I don't know for certain, right? But looking at the picks he's gone for, Shaw, Gabriel, and Estupiñán, I don't mind them at all. Shaw, of course, good attacking threat, kind of nailed for Manchester United as well. And they are a decent defense, right? Manchester United's defense has improved quite a bit, right? So their fixtures aren't the worst. There are quite a couple of tough fixtures for them, but United's defense, I think, is one that has improved and can be trusted, right? So obviously, adding set pieces to Luke Shaw's appeal as well. I kind of understand why he has gone for Luke Shaw. Now, Gabriel 5.0, I do feel like he is one of the go-to defenders right now because Arsenal have a great run of fixtures. He's not too expensive at 5 million, and also he has decent attacking threat. coming into the season, there are quite a couple of games that Arsenal will play against teams that don't have good defenses when it comes to set pieces, and that's where I think Gabriel can profit as well. So I also do understand the Gabriel pick, and Estupinian, of course, one of the best first three fixtures, right? And I do understand Estupinian as well. He has a great attacking threat, so every chance that he could get double-digit hauls with clean sheets and attacking returns. So there are a couple of players that he hasn't gone for. As I mentioned just now, Trent Alexander-Arnold is someone he's left out. I do feel like for my own team, I will be leaving out Trent as well because the budget just allows going for a cheaper defender just gives the money to spread around and upgrade other areas of the team. I think we could try to cater for bringing Trent in later on. We can see how Liverpool kind of takes shape once the season starts. And when that happens, if Trent becomes essential, we can try to shift the team around to get him. But for now, I don't think it's kind of that crucial to start with Trent Alexander-Arnold. So I do agree with FPL Azuri on this one. And another player that he hasn't gone for is John Stones. Now, John Stones is a player that hasn't left my draft for quite a while now. I do want to capitalize on the Manchester City fixtures as well, which are really good, right? But maybe he does think that John Stones may be a little bit too much of a rotation risk, right? So that could be one of the reasons why he hasn't gone for John Stones. But his draft isn't confirmed yet. There will be changes, and obviously going into the season, we can check out his draft on his Twitter page and also his YouTube channel, so do check it out. And let's move on to the midfielders. So in midfield, he has gone for Saka, Foden, Fernandes, Enciso, and Marcus Rashford. So a couple of interesting pointers here. He has gone for a double Manchester United attack with Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. So his solution to whether to go for Fernandes or Marcus Rashford is just to go for both of them. Of course, we know Fernandes is probably going to be on penalties as well. So going for both Rashford and Fernandes does ensure that you capture majority of the Manchester United attacking returns because both of them are very involved in their attack. Now, it is important to note as well that Manchester United have just signed a new number 9 as well, right? So it is more or less confirmed. So it remains to be seen the role that Marcus Rashford will play. If he does move to that left side, it is where he has seen a lot of joy in the last season, right? And of course, if they have signed a number 9, he probably would not play in that number 9 position. So will that affect his attractiveness as an FPL asset? We will have to consider as well. But FPL Azuri has gone for both of them. And then Bukayo Saka, of course, he's gone for him. A lot of the drafts this season has seen Bukayo Saka. His ownership is really high, but it is also important to note that he has missed a penalty in preseason. So whether that will change moving forward, it remains to be seen, right? As for Foden, 7.5 million, FPL Azuri has decided to go for Foden to cover that Manchester City attack. Now, it is also something to consider as well that Kevin De Bruyne is going to be coming back from injury pretty soon, right? Or at least sooner than expected. So whether Foden will be playing in that Kevin De Bruyne role, which we all thought would be happening, right, it may be more short-lived than we actually imagined. So his position and the role that he will be playing is still unconfirmed. It remains to be seen. But in general, Foden is an asset that we know when he gets the minutes, if he does get consistent minutes, the attacking returns naturally flow, right? So I do kind of understand that Foden pick as well. He's not very highly owned, so I do like that there is a differential in this midfield. And let's talk about the mega differential, which is Enciso. Now, Enciso is at 5.5 million. FPL Azuri has decided to go for Enciso instead of Mitoma to cover their Brighton attack. Now, my thoughts on this is that Enciso is a little bit too risky to go for at this point in time. I did have him in the last few drafts that I've had, but the thing is, looking at the way Brighton are shaping up, they have so many attackers, so many midfielders, we could see a lot of rotation, right? And in general, if we are having a midfield spot where there are plenty of budget options, you see, if we can upgrade Enciso to maybe Mbeumo at 6.5, Mbeumo is on penalties. Brentford's fixtures are pretty good, but is it worth to save that 1 million and go for Enciso, who's more risky, right? And plays for a Brighton side with good, decent fixtures in the first couple of game weeks, but after that may be subject to rotation and things like that, right? So Enciso is a little bit of a gamble to me. I do feel like it would be a little bit more prudent if FPL Azuri does use that money in the bank to upgrade Enciso to a slightly more safer pick, right? That's my thoughts. But what do I know? He is the second in the world last season, so That could be a reason why he's going for Enciso. And later on in the last part of the video, I will make some changes to this draft to kind of improve it a little bit based on my opinion, and we'll see what you guys think as well. So let's wrap this video up with the forwards. So up front, a very expected forward line, a front two of Haaland and Jesus. Now both of them very highly owned. There are a couple of people who are deciding to go for Nkunku up front instead, and maybe going for a second Arsenal midfielder in maybe Martinelli or Odegaard. So that is also something to consider, but FPL Azuri has kept it simple here. He's gone for Jesus. Jesus in general gets loads of chances for Arsenal, so the chances will definitely be there. Fixtures are there for Arsenal as well, and you would expect Jesus to consistently start as well. So you don't really have to worry about minutes as compared to maybe a Martinelli in midfield who could be rotated with Trossard, right? So going over to the bench, there is Areola, there's Porro, there's an undecided 4.0 defender that he currently is thinking about still, right? And then there's a forward, 4.5 million forward. So let's cover the bench in greater detail. Areola at 4.0, FPL Azuri has just decided that Areola is just the one of the best 4.0 million picks. He may not start in game week 1, right? But maybe he will get a run in the starting 11 later on in the season, right? As for Pedro Porro, 5.0 million. So a slightly more expensive defender. Now, he's gone for a Pedro Porro because of his attacking threat, right? In general, Porro has seen a couple of attacking returns, especially towards the end of last season when he came in, and Tottenham are a decent attacking side. But the issue here I have is that I don't think Tottenham are a team that keeps a lot of clean sheets. So I think clean sheets for Porro will be few and far between, so I don't really agree with this pick, but I am fully aware that there are a couple of you guys who are quite hot on Pedro Porro as well, right? So FPL Azuri has agreed with those of you guys, and he is the first defender on the bench. The second defender is a 4.0 bench fodder. Now he has texted me and said that it could be a couple of different players here. It could be Bell, it could be Bayer, it could be Baldock, it could be Kabori. He just hasn't decided yet, and he will want more information on that, but it's probably just going to be a 4.0 bench fodder. And then the last spot on the bench goes to a forward, McAtee from Luton Town, 4.5 million. He's just gone safe here. In general, I don't think he will be using this spot just like the rest of us, right? So just a 4.5 million bench fodder. So this is how his team is shaping up. It's a general 3-5-2 formation covering most of the assets that we have, with a couple of differentials in Enciso and Foden as well. Right, so let's take a look at the Fantasy Football Hub My Team tool to try and improve this team based on my opinion, and we'll see what you guys think about it. So taking a look at the Fantasy Football Hub My Team tool, which rates your team for you based on the first 5 game weeks and gives you a team rating here of 90%. As you guys can see, I've just loaded FPL Azuri's team. I'm going to make some changes to it. But in general, when you take a look at this FPL Fantasy Football Hub My Team tool, there's predicted points that you can go with as well. There's also a game week specific rating as well. So it's a very useful tool. It's free to use. For those of you guys who want to check it out, the link is in the description and also the pinned comment. Right, so do check them out. And I'm gonna make a couple of changes to this draft here. So as you guys can see, without any changes made, it's given a 90% team rating, 64.3 predicted points, which is pretty decent, and also a game week specific rating of 91%. Right, so looking at this drop, as I mentioned just now, I think I wouldn't go with Enciso, right? Because I just feel like he's too risky. So I could either go for Mitoma in this position or Mbeumo. So because we want to cover the Brighton attack here, let's say I go for Mitoma, right? And as you guys can see, immediately the team rating improves to a 93% team rating, and also a game week rating of 95% as well. Now, of course, Mitoma is 1 million more expensive, so he's only left with 0.5 million in the bank. Now there's one more change that I would make actually, and that's actually to swap Pedro Porro out for Ben Chilwell. Now I think Chilwell is a player that will really come in very handy after game week 1, right? When Chelsea's fixtures pick up after the Liverpool game in the first game week, their fixtures after that are very decent. So you could entertain the thoughts of maybe even starting with Nkunku instead of Gabriel Jesus, like in this draft here, right? But for now, After making these two changes, you guys can see that it's a 93% team rating and a 95% game week rating. And moving forward into the season, into the later game weeks, if I just move forward here, you can see game week 2, it's a 93% rating and a 92% rating as it stands. If I make a couple of changes here and I swap Ben Chilwell in when Luke Shaw plays Tottenham, right, and Chilwell plays West Ham, right, then obviously the team rating improves and so on so forth, right? And you can use this transfer planner basically, right, to view your team in a big picture perspective and basically plan out your transfers really well. So I really like this tool. Do check them out. And moving back to game week 1, let me know what changes you would make to FPL Azuri's team. What I've done, as I mentioned just now, I've just swapped out Enciso for Mitoma. And on the bench, I've also gone with Ben Chilwell instead of Pedro Porro. So let me know what you would do in the comments down below. And I'll catch you guys in more Game Week 1 content very soon. Bye-bye.